This is a little bittersweet. So we look out the window here, overlooking our little lake. Kind of leads off into the distance. Our capital vessel, that's just kind of hovering over there with the power off, even though you can't really tell because all the dust that's kicking up. We're actually ready to leave. Feels kind of weird to say that, but we're actually going to get out of here. I just picked the final 2 pairs that we're going to harvest from this base, I think, forever and ever and ever. And I guess we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to take my survival constructor just because we're going to leave the hover vessel right where it is. We're going to leave the turret up here with a few rounds in it. That's 345. We're even going to leave Scout Ship Alpha. We're pretty much just going to take our gunship, which is still unnamed at this point because I'm lazy or can't really decide on a name. And we're going to go ahead and park this guy right on top here as best as I can figure. Somewhere about right there. And we're going to see what happens here shortly because we're going to leave the atmosphere today. We're actually going to leave Aqua. I hope those guys hold. I hope we don't lose our ship because there's a lot of resources put into that ugly thing, which I am rather fond of, I must admit. Now, I want to tell you, in between the last episode and this one, I told you I was going to do a couple of minor things. So, wow, it's interesting thinking that we're actually going to take off here and not come back. But, all right, I'll stop dilly-dallying, I promise. I did do a couple of things, made a couple of minor changes. It helps if I get on the right side where, I can actually get in the ship. Minor details. But I made a couple of changes inside the ship, so I'm going to show you those before we do anything else. Come on, let me in. Thank you very much. So I put in a food processor right here and a refrigerator. So I'm going to go ahead and load the refrigerator up, even though power is not turned on at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and load this up anyway. And we'll just load all that stuff up in there, and that's fine. And here, just because I don't really have anything I can put in there right now. And then let's go ahead and put the survival constructor over here. You can see I'm kind of storing some stuff. And then the other thing I did is I actually replaced the constructor. The reason for that is I think, and I may be wrong here, but I think that the constructor that was in here was actually the wrong kind of constructor. I think it was a standard constructor, not a large constructor, because it didn't even say large constructor when I looked at it. So it just made me wonder a little bit, and I decided, what the heck? I have the parts to spare. I can go ahead and pop a new one in. It's not a big deal. So I don't know what happened to my gun. I must have dropped it and didn't realize it. It's the only thing that makes sense. And in fact, if you've already said that, oops, I'm recording this episode and the last one pretty much back to back. That's how I often do things. So, surprise! You might already know the answer and I just missed it, and whatever, it's all good. Let's store pretty much everything in the fridge. This is a nice tier 2 fridge, so it's going to hold a lot, and I think we're good to go. I think this is it. Just for giggles here, let's go ahead and go to the way out. Wow, that's just the way out camera. That doesn't make sense. The really far zoomed out camera. Look at that. So there's our itty bitty scout ship right there. Well, not scout ship, but our gun ship. And that is our reasonably good sized vessel right there. Capital vessel, that is. All right. We are aiming for the skies. Well, we're already in the skies, but we're aiming to leave the atmosphere. So let's just go. We don't have a ton of power on this thing. We have enough to go for about another hour. We're not going to need that much time, I don't think. The great part about this, too, is that this is a big capital vessel. So at some point here, we can just take a pause. Oh, look at that. We're in space. We have breached the atmosphere. We are in outer space. I love it. I love it. If I switch to my view here, oh yeah, look at that. That is fantastic, but I think that's actually a better way to fly right now. So where are we? I mean, we can kind of rotate down here a little bit, and Akka will be right under us. We have an asteroid belt right around Aqua. Whoa, hello. going a little crazy there. Slow down there. Look at that. We have 1,520 minutes of power remaining. That's not bad. Let's take a look at our map. So here comes the fun part. I didn't prepare for this. I don't quite know how to get there. How does that work? So I locked onto a target. I don't really know what that means. Estes, Alien Outpost, Skillen, Asteroid Field. I'm just kind of clicking around and looking here. That's Omicron right down there. And a trading outpost. I don't know what that is. Let's go to the trading outpost, actually. I don't even know if I know how to get there. That's the fun part. I have it locked on target, but I don't know what that actually means. I suspect that's something that if I actually had a way of warping, maybe I could do that, but I don't seem to... Oh, there we go. There it is. That's the sort of thing I wanted to see. That is brilliant right there. Wow, greater than a year. Let's just kind of chill for a second here. We're going to see how long this is actually going to take. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to sit here for a year doing this. I don't have that kind of time. If it becomes completely unmanageable, if this doesn't change at all, then, well, heck, I guess we just deal with it. Although, wow, you know, it did say that this was closer. All right, let's go to Omicron instead. We're going to lock onto Omicron. It's a little closer. That's why, because, you know, it's just plain closer. So we'll just go ahead and head to Omicron then. That's fine. It's still greater than a year at this speed, apparently. I mean, we are moving at what appears to be the maximum. I'm going to guess it's the maximum, 110 meters per second. I'm guessing that's the maximum. I'm not 100% sure. But, you know, it's all right. We're getting there. I think we got to go around the moon or something here. Is that what the problem is? We have the moon in the way? I think there might be a space probe or something, or a space drone behind us. You see that red mark on the mini-map? I think that's what that may be. I'm not really sure just yet. Maybe the moon is up around somewhere over there, because it sure seems to be targeted on that one little planet there. All right, I guess we left the space drone behind, which is probably a good thing, because this thing's not really equipped to do anything other than kind of, sort of, maybe shoot a gun at them, but our ship is kind of parked in the way, and that might end up causing problems for it. I'm not really sure. Oh, boy. A warp drive probably would be a good thing. I'm not sure I have... well, I mean, I guess we do technically have the materials. We have the warp drive and the warp tank already built, so we could theoretically just slap them on somewhere. Might look hideous, but we could probably make them just fit somewhere in the interim. Not sure I can make a room that would fit entirely, but it could probably make something that would blend in reasonably well. But like I said, I want to kind of hang for a minute and see how long this is going to actually take. I mean, it still says greater than a year. That does not bode well. Wow. I think we need a warp drive.